What's up, everybody? It's your boy AlexisMaurice, and I just got through watching tonight's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 7, season 8, Miami Spice. And I'm pouring some more because I'm really feeling some type of way about tonight's episode on many levels. On many levels. So I need a full glass of wine to talk about this so we can sort through this shit just a little bit. So before we start, while I'm taking my sip, like this video, share it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all of that stuff. Because we about to have some serious dialogue right now. Now, ladies, I hate to say this. I really hate to say this. But that's what the hell y'all get for bringing strangers back to your damn house. Okay? Now, granted, Glenn ain't that much of a stranger because he's Tammy's nephew. And since Tammy was with y'all, y'all probably thought it was safe. I blame production. But at the same time, don't talk to strangers. Do you remember that when you were younger and your parents and your teachers told you that when you're going out to play, when you start getting old enough where you can kind of play by yourself, or when you're going to school? Don't talk to strangers. Keep your hands, feet, and objects to yourself. Ladies, y'all got to be careful because if security wasn't there, that would have been a whole different interaction with Glenn. But let's talk about this whole Glenn situation because I'm kind of torn. You know, I'm just torn just a little bit with this Glenn stuff. So we saw the first aggressive, we saw the first aggressive side of Glenn when Kenya snapped at his ass on the boat. And I wouldn't even classify that as aggressive because a lot of people don't like to be snapped or tapped or do little things to get their attention. You address people by their names or a young man. So Kenya, one, you were wrong for that. You don't snap at nobody. That's rude. But I understand at the same time, you didn't mean anything by it. But Kenya, you know, everybody take everything you do so seriously. So people probably thought you was being disrespectful purposely. Then Glenn get to the house. And then he approached Candy. Oh, what's up with you? What was that attitude for? Now, I didn't see that. But maybe it was some shit that happened off camera. You know, I respect you, as long as nobody come at me sideways, blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking at the TV like, what the hell is he talking about? I must have missed this whole disrespect thing. Then he was in a jacuzzi with the girls. Sheree, girl, you was real smitten with him. And Sheree, golden showers? Really, girl? That's how you roll? That's how you get down? You let the boys piss on you? Okay. I guess people into kinky shit these days. But then, you know, Glenn was kind of talking out the side of his neck just a little bit. Maybe it was the drinks, it was flowing. He seemed overly aggressive a little bit. Kim kind of felt it was awkward. Candy felt it was awkward. They were over there talking about it. And then Kenya came over and started talking to them about it. And I think where it went south is Kenya felt like she needed to be the spokesperson for Candy and Kim and for herself because she started feeling a little awkward with Glenn too. Then they went and told Tammy. Tammy was drunk as hell. Tammy, girl, you was fucked up. I like that kind of fucked up girl. You was told back. But anywho, they brought it to her attention, and she kind of, you know, sobered up. Okay, I'll get this taken care of. So she went over there. She talked to him. All right, let's go. Kenya, you were wrong in a sense where you should not have rolled up on dude and was like, you've been acting crazy, weird all night since the beginning, and I just think it's best for you to leave. I think you were wrong and the situation escalated at that point. Now, I don't feel that you're completely responsible for this like some of the other girls were trying to paint you to be the villain. I don't think Kenya was the villain in this situation, and y'all got to help me understand it because I just don't see it. There were three women, including Kenya, was uncomfortable with this young man and how he was acting in an environment of women. That should have been enough. That should have been enough. Phaedra, you was like, well, you ain't make me feel uncomfortable. And all the Shami and all the other girls and Sheree, they were saying, you mean, that just kind of, I don't think that was cool of y'all to do that when some other women in the house were feeling some type of way. Now, if it was just dudes, you know, dudes don't have that type of problem. But since it's women, y'all have to be a little bit more careful with making sure everyone feels safe. Now, what I didn't like was, you know, after everything was all said and done, Kandi sat them down and told them how she felt. And then all of a sudden it was justified. Oh, okay, well, since he was coming at Kandi, that's fine. But it wasn't good enough because Kenya felt that way. Now, yes, Kenya is messy, but regardless of the fact, women, you know, y'all stick together. So if one of y'all or two of y'all, three of y'all felt some type of way, then that should be enough. That's just my personal opinion, how y'all women roll sometimes. I thought that was whack that Kandi had to validate what Kenya was feeling and how she was feeling, and Kim was kind of, you know, back and forth with that too. Glenn, so you walked up to Kenya, little bitch, little bitch this, little bitch that, and you start walking towards her. People start pulling you back, security get in. Glenn, how the hell you push your auntie down like that? I mean, you knock your auntie the fuck out. What's her name? Tammy fell on the ground. Tammy lost consciousness. Her blood alcohol level was already through the roof or whatever, and you knocked her the fuck out. She laying down on the ground. And Tammy, go get a cold rag. People all upset. Then you got Cynthia and Kenya getting into it. Kenya was like, you turn it down. Don't do that, Cynthia. Cynthia was like, well, I feel responsible. I brought her around. You know, Kenya was saying, you shouldn't feel responsible. This isn't your fault. This is Glenn's fault and his inability to, you know, maintain his liquor or whatever the case may be. They get into it. Then Kim and Kenya get into it or whatever because Kenya felt Kim was pointing a finger at her. It was just chaos, boom, boom. Everything just blew up after that. But again, I still feel that Kenya isn't all to blame for this. Am I wrong for feeling that way? I don't know. I just don't see how she's completely to blame for this situation. Again, Kenya, you were wrong because you should have let Tammy handle that. And from what it looked like, just from our vantage point, the way that they edit, girl, it looks like he was going over to get his stuff. Yes, he might have been a little angry, but you let his auntie take care of that. You shouldn't have rolled up on him like that. But then security came in. Tammy got pulled off to the hospital. The ambulance came and got her. Then they had to escort Glenn and Jerron or whatever the dude named. They escorted them off the premises or whatever. Then Kim, feeling some type of way, she got on her damn skates and she skated out of that bitch. She said, let me pack my stuff. I don't feel safe. I ain't got time for these shenanigans. Let me get the hell up out of here. Then the next morning, Kandi packed up all her bags and she got the hell out of there too. Kandi, I don't blame her because you was pregnant, girl, and you made the best decision by walking upstairs. I just feel that Kenya was the spokesperson trying to protect you because you were pregnant, trying to protect her. Everybody was like, Kenya was mad because dude wasn't flirting with her or whatever, but she was kind of in the bikini. She was in the hot tub, you know, laughing and joking with everybody. But dude started talking at the side of his neck. Glenn seemed like a cool guy though, but he was kind of saying some crazy stuff. Then Tammy and them come back from what we were told in the video. Now, I didn't like this part. I didn't like how the girls were making fun of Tammy, and then Tammy was standing outside of the door listening, she knocking on the door, and they making her look like she cares. She's some crazy delusional ass woman. Now that was whack. Now get this, every time something pop off with me and my friends and it's a fight break out or something like that, granted, we do talk about it, we debrief, we laugh, we kiki. Unfortunately, we never get caught. It's only bad when you get caught. And y'all got caught portion them. Y'all was making fun and you got a video. You know, so that made y'all look really, really bad that y'all were making fun. And then, you know, Tammy was standing right outside the door. She had to feel really, really bad. Especially since she's a new girl. You know, y'all girls can be real mean sometimes. Really mean girls. And that whole scene with y'all, you know, with the video and stuff and making fun of her. Yeah, that seemed real mean girlish. Like I said, y'all got caught, so I just have to, I just have to critique you. I just have to give you my feedback. Cynthia, you fake as hell, okay? Because the minute that Tammy left, you should have went on with her because that was your friend and you invited her around. You shouldn't need permission or talk to Candy or talk to Kenya about that. You should have went on and went with your homegirl and you should have stayed with her all night while she was at the hospital. Now, I did hear Candy say y'all left or something like that. So it kind of insinuated that you might have gone to the hospital to go check on her. But either way it goes, you still ain't had no business calling Tammy in front of all of those girls too. You should have had your own separate conversations with her. But you did say that you called her and she went picking up the phone and you left her voicemails and stuff like that. But that came off real fake. I'm not calling you fake, but it just came off that way. And seemed like you was being a little mean girlish too. Then we got Sheree and Phaedra having a conversation about labeling black men. And so the whole episode took on a whole nother face. And I'm sitting in the screen like, well, damn, they are right. Or whatever, because it was like he was labeled aggressive. But I'm just confused. Carlos, y'all just didn't show enough or whatever, because it was like everybody was split down the middle or whatever. You got Kenya and Candy and maybe Kim feeling some type of way, and then you got everybody else feeling some type of way about this, if this boy was aggressive or not. Child, the whole episode went to a whole Black Lives Matter forum between Sheree and Phaedra, and that was true. They have black young men or whatever, so they have to raise them to be careful. It could, a situation can turn left just like that. Phaedra was saying she felt like old dude shouldn't have been hauled off the way that he was. And maybe he shouldn't have. But he started fighting and stuff like that. What else was security them supposed to do, Phaedra? But everybody feels Kenya provoked him. And she did, because she should have just allowed Tammy to handle it. I don't know. The good thing about this whole trip is Portia, dumbass, got the opportunity to go out on a date with Oliver. Phaedra gave her some little spray to spray on her, poop nanny. She about to put it all up in her pussy, about to burn her pussy off or whatever. But she looked like she had a good little time with her date. Portia, I'm trying to like you. I'm trying to talk more positive about you, because I realize I may have been a little wrong in how I've called you names and stuff like that in the past. But girl, come on, you just a little, you is just a little dingy or whatever. But I'm trying to do better, because you're a beautiful girl. I love your spirit. You're just a little dumb sometimes, but I love your spirit, and I'll drink to that. Cheers to Portia and your date with Oliver. Duke is in camp, okay, Portia? Let him do what he do so he can make his money, so he can have a great season. I'm also glad that Candy was talking very positive about her and Phaedra. Seemed like they're on the road to recovery, getting their friendship back together, even though she made that little slide comment at the end. She wished that Phaedra go ahead and pay her husband the money. Come on, Phaedra, write that check. Go ahead and cut that damn check. Whatever check you get from Bravo for doing this season, go ahead and write Todd out his little check, and let's go ahead and close that invoice, okay? Let him go ahead and close that invoice. And then we had Kenya and Kim have their brunch, or their lunch, where the people ain't had no cranberry juice, they ain't had no alcohol. Girl, I would have left that damn spot. We could have went someplace else. Let's go to bar 1. Well, child, that don't exist in Atlanta anymore. Y'all could have found someplace else to go to, girl, because they ain't got all the condiments. Just like Kim feels that they ain't had their cranberry license or whatever. But, Kim kind of came at Kenya, was like, you provoked the situation. And then I was looking at Kim like, well, damn. You was sitting right there with her and Candy when they were having that discussion about, how he was acting crazy. But that's why I say, y'all, it has to be a completely different. There had to be a lot more footage that we didn't see for them to, all of the other people to feel like Kenya actually provoked the situation. I don't know. My head hurt. My head hurt with this whole situation. But y'all let me know. Tell me what you think. Do y'all think Kenya was wrong? or whatever. Do you think all of this she was the cause of everything by her rolling up on it and not letting Tammy handle the situation? I mean, I guess I can see that, but I guess I just didn't like how the other girls just kind of left her out there because other people were uncomfortable with Glenn in there. But Glenn, I know this probably, you hated to see this episode and see how you were portrayed, but the cameras only showed what you allowed them to do. But I'm not passing judgment on you. We've all been a little drunk. Sometimes we misinterpret things or whatever the case may be. I'm just trying to be objective about the whole thing. I didn't drink all my wine. Maybe we didn't have that much to talk about like I thought we did. But I'll catch y'all next week.